Hello everyone, Spartan 9013 here. Today we're gonna go over an article that I keep looking at, right, every time I go to Google. So this is the first time me reading this, so I'm gonna go with an open mind. 10 changes that the Legend of Korra made to the Avatar: The Last Airbender canon. So this is made by Caleb Bailey. Just show him some support, right? Don't go over there and trash talk them, dude. Come on, just be nice, right? Like, if you're gonna criticize them, please do it in a polite way. Don't use the F bomb. Don't use anything, please. And I'll leave a link to the article down below. The term retcon stands of retroactive continuity. It refers to the practice of changing a previously established aspect of a story's lore in the future. For long-running series, retcons are very common. Franchises like the MCU, Dragon Ball, and Game of Thrones are prime examples of ideas. Their storytellers and writers often use retcons to change a problematic aspect of the series to caveat the caveat is the retconning too often and create a conflict narrative. So this person already know he's already showing that he has some knowledge, right? And bringing Dragon Ball as an example, like the Potara fusion was supposed to be a permanent fusion, but they made a time limit to the fusion. Instead of being permanent, it's now an hour long. Another retcon I remember recent from Dragon Ball is that Potara fusion and the fusion dance give the person the same amount of power. But back in Dragon Ball Z, right, it was established that the Potara future is the stronger fusion. So, yes. Keep in mind, take it with a grain of salt because the statement that Potara and Fusion Dance are the same was made in the promotional material of Dragon Ball Super Broly. So this might be true, this might not be true. They might be using it for to hype up the movie. I don't know, but it is a fact that yes, the writers have said that yeah, Fusion Dance and Potara are the same. They give the same power boost. Now, number 10 on the list. Number 10. Rava is the source of the Avatar state's power. Previously in Avatar The Last Airbender, the Avatar state drew from Aang's predecessors. When questioned about this, Avatar Roku did not mention anything about the Spear of Peace and Light. Rather, Roku placed heavy emphasis on the previous Avatar's strength and knowledge. Korra changes things around by suggesting that Rava enhances the Avatar. Rava is a whole as a whole can feel a little incongruous to certain fans. If you only watch Avatar The Last Airbender, Rava may seem a contradict the previously established Avatar canon. We think that Rava and the Angel Benders powers the Avatar state. It's just a bit strange that Roku never mentioned Rava at all. And this might be because they didn't have Rava as a concept back in the day. So it's basically they're just trying to create more characters to make the story more, to draw more people in. So Rava as a concept was not a thing back in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Although we have to all agree that season 2 of Legend of Korra was a bad season. Introducing Rava and Vaatu just made it worse. They should have just stick around with the Civil War that they were going with North and South Pole going against each other. And Avatar Korra being forced to be in a neutral position because, as we all know, the Avatar doesn't belong to one nation, it belongs to all nations. Technology advanced pretty quickly. Now, before I read this, I want to tell you this, right? It is not far fetched that technology advanced so quickly. Just to take look at Dubai, for instance, from the year 1999 and 2000 all the way up to right now in 2019, nearly 20 years later. And we see that the most common vehicle driven in Dubai is freaking BMWs and Lamborghinis. Like those are the Nissans and Toyotas back over there in Dubai. So technology advancing too quickly is not so far fetched. Now take a minute to consider computers, right? Back in the day, computers used to take up an entire room. Now we have it in the palm of our hands. Cell phones, right? To listen to music, we need iPods and stuff like that, and MP3 players. Now we can just download them in our phones and listen to them with wireless headphones. And back in the day, headphones were this big. Well, there's still some that are this big, but they're better quality. So you gonna, you know, comparing phones, computers back 20 years ago, you see a drastic change. Video games, for instance, that's another example how technology has changed. So like freaking you look at the first few Super Mario's and now compare them to now with their 3D animation and stuff like that. So technology, it's not so far fetched that technology can advance so fast. In Avatar: The Last Airbender took place in a relative rural society. The most advanced pieces of tech in Avatar: The Last Airbender was steam power, suggesting that electricity and infrastructure were always off. However, The Legend of Korra looks like it's set centuries into the future. Well, Aang died like 60 at the age of 68, I believe. So he lived like 5 decades. All right, 50 years more. Right, 55 years more. So it's not far fetched to assume that technology will advance so fast, especially during Avatar's lifespan, right? Comparing that to now, the change has few potential in universal. The systems of bending, yes, bending like using lightning from firebenders to, you know, power up a generator. That seems reasonable, but just remember that in our real world society, technology has advanced so fast in a small amount of time. Just imagine technology 20 or 30 years later from now. So that's something to keep in mind. Spirits behave differently. The spirits in Avatar: The Last Airbender were envoys and guardians of nature. In The Legend of Korra, the spirits are more concerned about maintaining balance between light and darkness. And entities like Hei Bai and Wan Qing Tong were more concerned with protecting physical spaces from humans. If a forest was threatened or an ocean was polluted, the spirits of Avatar: The Last Airbender would jump into action. You see, the owl spirit from the library was protecting the library and hated humans because humans used to use the knowledge from the library to hurt each other. So that's why he hated humans. He did not like humans at all. So already there's a justification for that. Like humans had really bad relationship with spirits, and spirits were getting tired of humans as well. In the Legend of Korra, spirits have their mindsets on the abstract goals, in their new thoughts and falls in the selfish. Yeah, yeah. And flew first. Oh, okay. Oh, I see here. Now I want to see the art. Already, like this guy, fact number 10 was pretty good. I like his fact. Number 8, 9, and 9 were, yeah, but there are some just already debunked two facts. Number 10 was a good, it was justified for him to, yeah, yes. So Rava and Vadu did not have to be created. I agree with the writer on this. So let's keep reading. So here caused quite the stir. When he took flight in the Legend of Korra, certain characters there that stated that Sahir was the first airbender to fly since Goro Lajima. I do not know how to pronounce these Asian names. But didn't Aang fly in the Avatar: Last Airbender? His battle with Fire Lord Oza. Furthermore, the Avatar Bible states that airbenders can't fly around like Peter Pan. The Avatar state makes Aang's flight speed possible initially. The showrunner. Okay, so here's the thing: Aang cannot physically fly without his Avatar state, right? And we can see that Avatar Osai could fly using firebending, and other flybenders have been able to display this, like Azula and stuff like that. So we have characters that can quote unquote fly or propel themselves into the air, right? So here this is something unique to Sahir because you know he's just a plain old airbender, all right? He became an airbender, but he doesn't have any other bending. He doesn't have any other outer powers like the Avatar. So comparing an Avatar to a plain airbender is not such a good comparison because the avatars have Jesus powers. Eh. I do accept the fact that Sahir can fly because this is unique and something that quote unquote hasn't been seen for thousands of years. So I do accept the fact that Sahir can fly. So I do not. Fact number 7. Yeah, the origins of the bending arts. I can already sense something sweet from here. This is one of the most contentious changes to the Avatar canon. In Avatar The Last Airbender, we learned that the first benders studied the animals around them. Dragons were the first firebenders, badgermores were the first earthbenders, etc. Near the end of the series, Turtles teaches Aang to energy bend. Most fans probably assumed that lion turtles were solely masters of energy bending. However, Avatar The Legend of Korra challenges that assumption. Via Avatar 1 story, we learned that lion turtles let humans bend in the first place. However, people still had to study under animals to master it. So it didn't retcon the origins of bending, but rather expanded on the legend of God. So you just contradicted yourself, basically. So you just went against your own argument. All right, you already answered. You already pointed out what I was about to say. That they still had to learn from animals. Like Avatar 1, we saw him training with a dragon spirit, as you say. So yes, among the energy bender. In Avatar The Last Airbender, Aang learned to energy bend from lion turtles near the end of the series. Avatar The Last Airbender gave off the impression that lion turtles were the only masters of this technique. Sure, Ty Lee used her chi blocking techniques to paralyze her foes. However, Ty Lee's attacks and energy bending are two separate things. In The Legend of Korra, Amon can totally strip others of their bending abilities. Some fans think that Amon uses a form of blood bending to achieve this effect. Others suggest that he taught himself how to energy bend over the years. Either way, Amon's feats are still unprecedented in the grand scheme of things. It is stated in The Legend of Korra that Amon uses a form of blood bending to actually take away people's bending. Now, I don't think it was implied how he does it, but I think Ty Lee's chi blocking has a part of this. You see, when Ty Lee uses chi blocking, she uses it to paralyze her opponents and not be able to bend. Right? So, the way I can see how Amon does it, he probably uses it in a way to chi block any the points in the body that allows a person to use their bending abilities, if that makes sense. The same way that Ty Lee uses chi block to paralyze someone, but in the difference is he doesn't paralyze people. He just takes away their bending using a blood bending version of chi blocking. Plus, it is shown that he knows how to use hand-to-hand combat very proficiently. So I guess you could say that he can chi block someone using blood bending, which is a very, very effective way to chi block someone. So I'll give this one to Bailey over here because they did mention in the story that he uses blood bending to chi block, but they don't show how he implements takes away the bending, but they don't go into specifics, which is a shame because I think Amon was a very interesting character to say the least. I think he was to me he was the most interesting character out of everyone, due to the fact that he had the fear factor that everybody fear him. Like everybody saw everyone as a threat, but when it came to Amon, he is like the threat of being having your bending taken away from you, and the fact he knows how to blood bend makes him more of a threat than Sahir himself, if I'm allowed to say, because because I don't think bloodbending has a limited to range, because we never seen anyone have a problem with that. I don't think there's a range limit to bloodbending as long as the person is near you. Harmonic convergence. Okay. Oh, okay. This guy is going hard now. The concept of harmonic convergence is another change in Avatar canon. That's not necessarily a retcon. Okay, you just contradict. However, the last fact that no one else mentioned it in in Avatar Legend does stand out. On multiple occasions, Aang's learned valuable information from one of his past selves. During each of those occasions, harmonic conversion was never brought up. We understand the realm of the real world explanation very well. The writers likely hadn't invented harmonic conversion yet, but the jury is out as to why none of Aang's predecessors mentioned it to him. Harmonic convergence directly reshapes our understanding of the spirit world. If the series continues, maybe we'll learn more about harmonic convergence. Oh, the way I see it is because I don't, because probably the way I see it is his past life probably knew that Avatar would not be alive. Avatar Aang would not be alive during harmonic convergence, if that makes sense. So I think they knew. So it wouldn't make sense. But then again, they wouldn't know who would try to manipulate the next Avatar to do so. So it's like no one knew. I don't think anybody knew that the portals were gonna be open in the first place. So I don't think that it would have been. Yeah, all right. You're making me think. All right, so I think like the past lives did not really bother telling Avatar Aang about harmonic convergence because they didn't think the portals will be open again to connect the physical world with the spirit world. If that makes sense. Otherwise, Avatar One would have mentioned it, but I don't think that would have been a problem because Avatar Aang has a better connection to his past lives than Korra. So, ever like I doubt that he wouldn't have known about it. But I just know that the it wouldn't make sense for Aang to know because he wouldn't be alive in the first place, and nobody knew that the portals would be open. All right, because they physically have to be opened by an avatar. That's why they needed Avatar Korra to open the southern portal in the first place. That's just keep that in mind, I guess. This the spirit the spirit of the planet. Oh, okay, okay. This point is the source of much debate, even in years after the end of the Avatar: Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. According to the series production Bible, the Avatar is meant to be the spirit of the planet in human form. Some fans feel that Rava's induction into the Avatar canon conflicts with the idea. Others suggest that Rava is the spirit of the planet. We can see the rational, rationale behind both parties. Rhetoric, in our opinion, it all comes down to personal interpretation. Rava's inclusion into this is a change of Avatar lore. In the end, whether you view her as an amendment to the above quote or alternation is up to you. I don't know. One thing that Avatar Yang Sheng said to Aang that is the Avatar belongs to all nations, basically belongs to the world. So I don't know how to argue against this. I think I give you number three. Right, I'm gonna give you number three. Number 10, number three, I give them to you. Because I don't know how to argue this one. No, I do not know how to argue this one because I don't know. Alright. Lava bending. Alright. The legend of Korra depiction of lava bending is truer to the source of most things. The misinformation surrounding this art largely stems from Avatar Extra. The extra were cute bonus featurettes that aired in Nickelodeon. One of the extras defined lava bending as a combination of earth bending and fire bending, as much only an avatar should be able to bend lava. However, Bolin becomes a master of lava bending, the Legend of God. This is because lava bending is a byproduct of earth bending. With enough practice and intuition, an earthbender can strike down their foes with fury of a volcano. So the Legend of God didn't recon how lava bending works. The show sets the record straight. You, look, it's not much of an argument if you go against yourself. Give me something to argue about. Yes, lava bending The forms of lava bending we seen was with Roku, I think, and also Avatar Kyoshi when she like split up Kyoshi Island. But those are because they were avatars, so and they have more experience than Aang at this point, because Aang was like 13 when he, yeah. So yeah, uh, you could say it's a combination of both earthbending and firebending, but remember the lava is molten rock, right? It's rock that has been heated up so much it kind of oozes out like a liquid. So it is justifiable for rock for earth bending to be a lava bend because it's just molten rock, right? Just like how metal bending was possible with Tough because there's some impurities in the metal that she can bend because metal is made out of rock. So yes, so like lava doesn't really fit in with fire bending, right? Because fire, if that makes sense, lava is just rock that has been heated up. Metal bending is commonplace. If you never read the comics, you might wonder why metal bending is so prominent in the Legend of Korra. After the last one, 12 opens a metal bending academy. There, the bandit teaches others how to manipulate metal. Tough is such an effective teacher that metal bending is commonplace in Republic City. Ultimately, this apparent change is backed by the after comics. It also makes sense why there's so much confusion about metal bending. Tough barely discovered the ability near the end of after the last emerald. Unlike most of the other bending forms, fans didn't get to spend much time with this unique ability. You contradicted yourself again, dude. All right, Bailey. All right. So metal bending is something that nobody thought about would be possible, but Tough did because of her second sense. So like I did with the last fact, right? She sensed the impurities of the metal and then like metal bend because like the less pure the metal is, the more rock structure it has, I guess you can call it. So that's why, uh, yes, metal bending is possible because of the impurity of the metal. So like, and nobody thought it would be possible. It was possible. Like metal bending was possible. It's just like no one thought about it. And Tough did thought about like, I wonder what this do if I do this. So this article overall is a pretty good written article by this guy, Caleb Bailey. Show him some love if you can find him on Twitter. Like you know, you can tell that he's very knowledgeable with this series, right? He's not like other article writers that are like they take facts out of their ass. At least this guy has some good arguments to give us, and actually made me think in a few of them. So this guy, he's the real deal. He's a fan, all right. He's a fan. So like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the wait, what the fuck did I? Again. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. And I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.